All right, so a little over a week ago, the Associated Press did a story that said there's a growing trend of folks who are showing up for job interviews and being asked by the job interviewer for that person's logon and password to their Facebook account. We knew that employers may have been scouring their Facebook pages, but actually going to their account with their logon and password, that seems to be a step or perhaps 1,000 steps too far.
All right, is it really happening? We have with us Chris Dessi, a social media expert, and Greg Giagrandi, Chief Human Resources Officer of Dow Jones, a part of News Corp. Nice to have you both here. Have you heard about this? Would News Corp ask somebody for their Facebook and logon?
I've never done that. I mean, it's very common for employers to Google search a prospective applicant, but asking for a password, it's like asking for their ATM password. I mean, if you want to get their online financial activity, I haven't heard it done.
Chris, nevertheless, so this story's gaining momentum. I'm not sure. Like we have Chuck Schumer proposing legislation to prohibit this, but are we prohibiting something that's really not happening?
I think it is happening, and I think it's
scary.
And I also think in terms of the companies asking for the passwords, it's based in fear, and that's disconcerting because it feels like it's a bit coercive. People are in need of jobs. If they're being asked for the passwords, they feel this necessity to give up the password. What I really think it's indicating, however, is that companies are a little concerned about the conversation that's happening within the social media ecosystem about the company. And I think it's indicative that companies need to start defining social media parameters. The stats say that less than 75% of companies actually have specific social media parameters for their organization, and maybe that's a solution. Hey, if you're going to work with us, here are the parameters. You can't be logging onto Facebook. You can't be logging onto Twitter. Things of that nature. So,
well, listen, we've heard even colleges, when they look at kids' resume, if they're really interested or the kid is on the line, they'll go on Google and see what's out there about them.
Anything that's out in the public domain is fair game, but when you ask for a privacy, exception and looking for a password, I think that crosses the line.
And no reputable employer that you know of, and you're in the HR business, the hiring and firing business, you haven't heard of it happening.
I haven't.
All right.
We were talking off camera. I know a lot of successful people. We all do. And the people that I know do not even go on the internet. They said it's a waste of time. They don't use it for their business. Maybe their underlings do it, but they are not wasting their time, Twittering, tweeting, and Facebook.
Well, if you do it responsibly, I think it actually can help in terms of creating your own brand as an employee. I think it absolutely can help you in your career if you do it responsibly and you understand how to make it effective for you.
But it can be distracting.
It absolutely can be distracting.
it can be distracting. However, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Drive Action Digital Marketing Agency. The way that I ended up here, sitting next to you, talking to you, is because of my activity within social media. Blogging, offering my business opinions, my business acumen, my experiences with my clients, and that nature. So if you are responsible, you curate your own content, you present yourself professionally, and you're not being, willy-nilly being a clown out there, it can be really beneficial to your career.
But you're summarizing real-world accomplishments online. There are folks out there who are just online, Greg. And I do think when you're looking for a job, I've heard this before, that there's too much time on the computer and not enough time face-to-face, because basically speaking, you need face-to-face contact if someone's ever going to take a leap of faith and hire you.
Absolutely. I mean, most companies have electronic communications policies that actually do govern how much time you spend online at work and what kind of sites you visit. But
we're talking about getting a job also.
But getting a job, I think it's important to have a good profile. Just as traditionally we look at paper resumes. Paper resumes are now transitioning to digital resumes, and people are putting profiles on LinkedIn, which I think is an appropriate sort of business professional networking site to be in terms of advancing your career. But I also think it's important that if an applicant faces this situation, that we tell them how to handle it. If an employer, a prospective employer, does ask you for your password, I wouldn't get all self-righteous and indignant and say, how could you ask me that? I would professionally and respectfully decline and say, but if there's anything about my background that you would like to, understand who I am further, I'd be happy to help you, supply you with references.
We'd like to see your trip to Cancun. With pictures. What do you say then?
Cake stands, right?
You can see what's available.
And you can get self-righteous and walk out.
Chris, your final words.
I think the manner in which we aggregate and disseminate information as a culture has completely changed. It can be used to your benefit. I lecture at colleges and universities, and there are kids that write blog posts about companies that they want to be employed at, and I've seen them get interviews because of it.
Really?
And it's very powerful. Listen, when I wanted to break into social media, I created a website called FacebookShouldHireMe.com because I wanted to get to Facebook and help me get my first job in social media. So there are ways to benefit yourself in this employee search by leveraging social media.
Absolutely. Completely agree.
All right, Greg and Chris, thank you very much. Look, you guys may be experts. I want to get another opinion on this. Walt Clyde Frazier just walked in the
A
door.
legend in the house.
Sir, you tweet? Are you on Facebook?
Clyde, are you on Facebook?
Am I on Facebook? Yes.
You are.
And do you tweet too?
Of course.
And it enriches your life?
Much so, yeah, very much, because at a restaurant I keep in touch with my fans. They meet me there. We have nice talks.
All right, I was on the fence when I was listening to Chris and Greg.
My social
I'm
media
sold.